Welcome to the family with
Co-host Catherine Brandt.
Alex Bernard Rasmussen.
Doug Sprinthal.
And Andy Brant Bernard.
or Royals fan. Since when are you a Royals fan?
He was Royals in high school. Was that still a high school shirt? I wouldn't doubt if Andy
That was?
still. Yeah.
Dodgers Royals.
I thought we were the Roadrunners.
No.
Road runners.
We're
Literally
the Royals.
right under your chin.
Well, that's
this
not,
isn't the Rogers.
That's not Rogers.
Yeah, no, this
What
is
that?
Watertown Mayor. That whole area.
Oh, there's a lot of Royals.
Oh,
I
really?
guess.
It's like Eagles. I feel like everybody's an Eagle.
Yeah.
Swear to God, it was the Rogers Roadrunners.
We were the.
No,
Yeah,
it's
here we go.
not.
Vintage Rogers School, Rogers Roadrunners Cookbook.
Rogers, Minnesota? No. We were the Royals.
Yes, you were.
I will bet you $1,000
I will bet
right
you
now.
$5,000.
We were the-
$1,000.
It was like a weird blue panther, and we were the Royals.
I remember the Panther.
So why would we be the Roadrunners if there was
I'm
a panther?
probably thinking about our elementary school.
Mimi.
Maybe. I
Elementary
wasn't old
schools
enough.
have.
I'm sure they have like
Yeah, our
joke
school.
ones.
Our school has but we have a middle school attached to us, so
Yeah, I didn't go to Rogers in middle school.
no, neither of us did. I
Nope.
only went to Rogers Elementary School for first grade, so I don't know.
Sometimes I wonder if Andy was just like living in an alternate planet during high school. I was
Yeah.
Maybe.
no clue what was happening.
Well,
Maybe.
definitely.
Well,
There's a lot of teenage boys that fall in that club.
Yeah.
My sons were.
Yeah, just all hormonal and clueless.
I could not have cared less about extracurriculars. Are you kidding?
yeah.
I was Miss Extracurricular,
Yes, you were.
extracurricular.
I was like, the one curriculum is plenty.
I did so many things
Yes, you did.
all of the time, and I still do. I can't. Well, that's like something that I thought about the other day. I was like, okay, Dan's a busy bee. I'm a busy bee. And then together, now we're raising busy bee children. And I'm like, honestly, sometimes I think, I'm like, thank you, universe, for not allowing me to have more than 2 kids. Not like not allowing, but like making me so
Yeah.
violently ill that I was like, I can't do that again. Because
Oh,
I truly don't know what I would do if we had more children.
I remember a couple of my friends who had 4, 5 kids in sports,
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
just that's all you do.
that's all.
and sometimes 2 sports. They had these calendars that
Oh,
were
yeah.
Yeah, no, I could not.
unbelievably
I already
that
have that,
complicated.
and my kids are 6 and 8. What is the deal? I'm like, they're in so many things, but we love it. If we sit at home, we're just kind of like, then we're just running around at home. I don't know. It's just kind of like, I used to be really protective of our time at home when they were little, and now they're at the ages where it's like we gotta get them moving.
Do
They need to
stuff.
be running around
There need to be
because if
friends
not,
over.
like Sage, last night, hours. Play basketball. Will you play basketball with me? Somebody needs to play basketball with me. Will somebody play basketball with me? Will somebody play basketball? Well, anyone want to play basketball with me? I want to play basketball. Will you judge my alley oops? Will you rate my alley oops 1 out of 10? Will you watch my dunks? It was just like,
That's how Ethan is.
okay, and that's all
Or
we
you need a
does.
neighbor
It's like
kid.
Stewie on for the Family Guy is so brilliant. Mommy,
Mommy.
mommy,
Yes.
mommy, mom.
Yep.
Oh,
But we
God.
do have we have 2 neighbor kids, but we don't really see them much during the school week. In the winter, in the summer, they just would get
Yeah.
home and then go run around outside all the time.
Not
But
in
now
the
in
winter.
the winter, it's just like the weekends they play a ton and they're just running from house to house. And my kids have walkie talkies to tell me where they're going to be, and it's great. But in the winter, it's just like, well, it's 5 p.m. and it's dark, so we'll just stay inside.
Yep.
So you've got about, how old is Sage? 5?
6.
6.
You got about 6, maybe 7 years of this left.
Yep.
Yeah.
You'll pay.
I am interested to see.
I'm not even sure I have parents.
Yeah. I am interested to see how Sage is because Fawn is my much more, this is the perfect example. Fawn is very sweet. She's a house cat. She's very sweet and cuddly when she wants to be. Otherwise, it's like, get away from me. I need my space. Sage is a golden retriever where he's like, I just want to be with you and I love you and thank you for being here. And so I'm interested to see how he is as a teenager. You know, if he does the teenage
I did
boy
a complete 180.
grunt. Well, you were never like a sweet, cuddly kid.
Well, no, but I was very like hyperactive. Always wanted to be the center of attention.
yeah.
And then puberty hit, and I'm the exact opposite.
I know
My
you were
daughter
very
went through
interesting.
that.
pissed.
She
Yeah,
was
sure was.
really gregarious as a little kid. She was just funnier than hell.
Yeah.
As 5 at 5 years old, she walked up to Sarah's sister, which she met for the first time.
Yeah.
So you're Sarah's sister. Care to comment?
Yeah.
All the
That's
time.
how I
And then
was as
all
a
of a
kid.
sudden,
Yeah.
about 12 and a half, 13.
Yep.
Yep.
It is interesting how that happens.
I
It's
do
kinda
have.
sad in a way.
It
because
is. I
Yeah,
miss
'cause
it.
I remember I had a niece who was very gregarious and very outgoing, and when she hit, she didn't talk for 5 years to anybody. She
Yep.
was shy and withdrawn and self-conscious, and I mean now you can't shut her up again as a grown-up, but
Yes.
for like 5 years, like she didn't have. You could ask her direct questions, and she couldn't look you in the eye. It was sad.
I feel like I stayed pretty consistent. I mean, yes, I definitely had my
Like,
hormonal moodiness and stuff, but like I feel like my personality overall stayed pretty much the
Catherine?
same.
You just
care
don't
to
know what you're
comment?
getting. You don't know what you're getting.
You don't know
I
what
mean,
it
you
is.
just don't.
I have a friend that has 6 children, and 3 of them are older than my kids, and she's very like hippy dippy and is like, okay, Chinese herbs to balance your hormones and blah blah blah. And I'm like, your kids are going to be the guinea pigs, and you tell me what
Tell
you
me what
think
worked.
works, because she has a kid that's like heading in. She's in starting puberty now, and
Maybe enough ashwagandha will stop it.
exactly. And so I'm like, tell me which, like, books and herbs and whatever you found to be helpful, because I want all of that information. Please and thanks.
I remember with so many of my friends, girls about 12, they're like, all she wants is chocolate. I wish you'd just get her period already. There's not one chocolate chip in this whole goddamn house. You're like, whoa.
Stock up on chocolate.
Calm down.
I feel like,
Just
I don't-
anger with no chocolate.
yes, I know. I feel like, well, Fawn this morning out of nowhere. No, that's not true. I said something about a period. And then she was like, I have a friend who's in 4th grade that her best friend at school has her period already. And I'm like, yeah.
It
some
can happen
kids
as early
get
as
it
9, I
so
Really?
I had a friend that got it in 4th grade.
9.
Yeah.
That's rough.
I know. I told Fawn, I was like, you're lucky because you're so little. You'll probably get it really late,
You'll be 30, yeah.
like
Yes.
me. I got mine in 8th grade, which
Yep.
is late. The school nurse was like, we're worried you'll get osteoporosis.
What?
And it, like, yeah, you have to, if you don't get it,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have to like induce it.
if you don't get it by, I think it's like the end of 9th grade or by the time you're 15, they give you a pill.
Yep. Well, that's why
Force it.
post-menopause women
Yeah.
are supposed to take calcium, is because they can get osteoporosis
Yeah.
because something
Because
about the lack of
it's-
hormones.
Yeah, it's weird.
I still haven't gotten mine.
Well, yeah, I know. Well, Sage,
No.
My
asking
bones
you-
are
Even look at your
terrible.
health.
yeah,
Don't walk on ice, Andy.
yeah. Sage was like, this morning, he was like, will I get a period? And I was like, no. I've
And if
talked
you
to you about
do,
the,
see a
yeah,
doctor.
there's something wrong with what's going on. He just like can't wrap his head around it because I've
can't-
talked to him
he
about
probably
it
thinks it's
so
some
many
sort of a-
times.
Motorcycle.
No, I've told
Yeah.
him all about the like anatomy of the whole thing,
Yeah,
like
they don't
multiple
really
times.
get
But
it.
he like Fawn got it like right away when I talked to her about it when she was like 4 or 5, and Sage still is like, "What?
Yeah.
I don't understand." And I'm
Ethan
like,
does
"Dude,
not believe that he used to be a baby.
You show him pictures, and he's like, "No,
that's Colin.
that's how." Yeah, they do look very, very
They
similar.
look,
True.
they look incredibly
He
similar.
doesn't
Babies.
believe
But
you.
show
Doesn't
him a
believe
picture
it.
of Colin, like Melissa will be holding a baby clearly long ago,
Yeah,
and
He's like,
he's
"It's
just like,
Colin."
no, that's Colin. I'm not a baby. I'm a kid named Ethan.
Does he also think the Earth might be flat?
yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh.
He doesn't know what the Earth is. He doesn't even know what states are.
So outside the realm.
Yeah.
Of, my kids were talking about the. They've discovered the like abbreviations for each state.
Oh yeah.
That was a whole conversation.
Oh,
You can
boy.
spell with
Well,
them?
what's this? Well, what's this one? Well, what's this one? And I'm like, I don't know all the abbreviations for every state.
Yes, you
actually.
do.
There's
I
some
could
that
probably like
No,
puzzle them out.
there's some that are weird.
Yeah.
There's some that I'm like, where did this letter come from? What
Mhm.
is? It's like Missouri or Montana.
Yeah,
It's one of the-
Montana, Missouri, Maine.
Montana's MT.
Maine's
M.E.
ME.
Missouri's
No, they're all
MO.
fine.
Yeah, because there's MO, there's ME, there's
Maine.
M.E.
what's the fourth one? that I'm thinking of? Massachusetts. Yeah, there's. I mean,
That's MA.
yeah, but it's like there's
Or
so many
MN.
M states.
Yeah, there's a lot of M's. There's I don't
Pick
know.
a different
There's
letter,
there's
geez.
some that are weird that it's like this letter isn't even in the state name.
What's Alabama?
AL, right?
Yeah.
AL.
AL.
Is it AL? It's not AA?
Okay, I'm gonna
Because that
look.
would be good. You go there.
Oh,
and stop
it's like
drinking.
Minnesota. You ask a kid, they're going to say it's MI. But no,
Yeah.
it's MN because MI was already taken.
Yeah.
So it's
Michigan.
things like that.
List
It's just
of
like,
US
I don't know.
state territory. I need to figure out which one it is.
Which one? What is?
There's,
The
I feel like
weirdest
there's a
state
couple
abbreviation?
states because like Alaska is
AK.
AK,
Okay.
And what's Arkansas?
Arkansas is AR, California, Colorado.
I don't think there's any weird ones.
So far, they're making sense.
They make sense.
They make
I feel like
sense.
there's
For
a
the most
weird
part.
one.
All right, Alex, pretend you're 6.
Well, now when we get our 51st state, is that going to be CA?
We're getting
Yes.
another state. California, CA.
California, CA, yeah.
Oh, no. Oh,
Well,
see, Maryland
Maine
is
is
MD.
interesting because you don't pronounce the E, but it's ME.
Why are we getting another state?
Trump has asked Canada to become the 51st state of the United States, and
I
I'm
don't
not
think
kidding.
That's going to happen.
You should become the 51st state.
All we need is
Nah,
more to manage. No.
Yeah, seriously. That's like
No, thank you.
anytime Dan talks about moving into a bigger house, I'm like, it's more to clean. No, thank you.
It's true.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, in
Yeah,
Canada,
that'd be a-
you never use half of those rooms.
Exactly.
That'd be a
Truly,
pretty big-
like we barely use half of our rooms in Minnesota.
Yeah, we got one room in the house that is basically unused.
That's
I
not
use
bad.
it to charge our Ryobi batteries.
I
That's
meant
about
the
it.
state of Minnesota. We use half of our rooms.
Oh, well, that too.
We use all of the rooms in our house,
Everyone goes up north. They just don't stay there.
but not like north, hardly. Like, I mean,
The border.
Grand Marais closes in the winter.
That's true. Well, would you want to
No,
be
it
there in the
doesn't.
winter?
Yeah, like a lot of stores just shut down through the winter. Not like the whole
Yeah.
town doesn't, but a lot of stores they only operate in the summer, and like restaurants and stuff just shut down.
Yeah, well, they do that down here in Florida. They just shut down for the summer.
Yeah, because
nobody's
everyone
here.
leaves.
Business.
Yep.
Yeah. I know somebody asked me the other day, they're like, do you ever think your parents will move down to Florida full time? And I was like, I don't know if they'd want to do summers.
Summer is rough.
We stayed.
like-
we stayed here in May last year, and it was just. I mean, seriously, it was like this. It was like the heat was trying to murder you.
Yeah.
Well, remember
miserable.
when we went down there with Paige and Michael when I was in high school for just like, because we were on summer break and we had nothing going on? It was you, Mom, Michael,
Yes.
Paige, and me. The ocean was like a bathtub. We were like trying to escape the heat, and it was like everything is hot
Yep.
and terrible. Like you couldn't even go outside. It was so miserable.
Just thinking about
And then we
people
had-
living there pre-air conditioning. It's
Well, it's like
what,
Oh,
here.
God.
what do you
People
do?
living here pre-heat. Well,
That's-
you make a fire.
Yeah, you can
at
always
least,
make a
like,
fire. You can't
that's
make an
something.
ice.
Today, I am interested to see if I have to take the kids out for recess because it's
Oh,
real
yeah,
windy.
Sure is.
We're under a wind advisory.
Well, I googled Grand Marais, how it's going up there.
yeah. Oh God,
Let's
I can't
see,
even. imagine.
gusts up to 55 miles an hour.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
just open your parachute and get to work.
Grand
Do they have? Do
Marais.
you guys have snow on the ground?
A little.
Not really.
Okay, so
A
it's
little-
not going to blow
Yes.
all
Extremely.
over.
Yeah.
No.
Yesterday it
hate
was
that.
like that. The kids were trying to like collect snow and makes, and it's like that cold, dry,
Yep, it's
crumbly
useless.
stuff. And I had a bunch of kids. My thing is, I don't know. The kids at recess don't talk to any of the staff except me. They come up to me and they talk to me all recess, and I'm like, "Go play, go run," and they just stand next to me and talk to me. And yesterday they were giving me like chunks of snow and pretending they were cookies, and there were like 6 of them, and I was like, "I love you all,
Get out of my face.
delicious." You no, but I'm like, you need to go run. Like the whole point of being outside is for you to go run and play, and they'll just hang out with me. And I'm like, okay, well,
Well, your mother goose.
I am kind of. It's true.
It
Which
is
reminds
all
me,
true.
I have to leave a little early today because I have to help in first grade, but only like 5-10 minutes.
All right.
There you have it. So, Dougie, what's the latest with you, Pally?
Well, Sarah and I went on a road trip, kind of planned at the last second. So the morning after Thanksgiving, we fired up the old Chrysler and headed out to Golden, Colorado.
Nice.
Spent the weekend with my sisters, which was just about enough time.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I love them dearly, but they're
But
they're very different than me in a lot of ways. They're incredibly analytic, and they always have to structure everything just perfectly. We were going through some of my mom's stuff that she didn't want anymore, and it just they can make mountains out of grains of sand.
yeah.
But my brother-in-law is a retired ER physician, and I love him dearly. We had a blast together. So, and it was beautiful in Colorado. I am realizing that at my age, driving straight through from Minnesota to Denver
Oh,
and
God,
back
yeah.
is It's a little bit much.
gonna
So
be rough.
yesterday was kind of a long day. Sarah's like, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I think I'm going to sit in the sunroom and look out the window."
Mhm.
How
Well,
many
it's
Yeah.
gotta
hours?
be
Pretty
like
much all I did.
It's like a 16-hour drive, isn't it?
We did it in 12 and a half.
That's
That's
I
not
mean,
too terrible.
it's not god awful,
it's-
but it's
it's
that's
not
a long
boring
time
as
to
hell.
be sitting there
Because you
just-
got to drive through Nebraska. That is the worst
Yeah.
state in the country, other than the eastern end. You know,
Yeah.
Omaha and Lincoln are nice towns, but the rest of it is just
flat.
horrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we drove through Iowa on the way down here this time, and Iowa until you get to the eastern border is
Yeah.
just, my God, how much farmland is in America?
I know,
Just
it
in
is
Iowa.
shocking. I know.
Yeah,
Hours and
the
hours of
reason corn's and
farmland.
everything is because we got a lot of corn
There's
in
a
this
lot of corn.
country.
There's a lot.
Well, and east of Denver, because you cut down, there's all these huge cattle ranches and processing
Yeah.
plants, and the whole
Yeah.
eastern part
Yep.
of the state's just
Rendering,
smells
yeah,
horrible. The rendering
rendering
are
plants
the
you can
worst.
smell for
Ew.
miles and miles.
I don't want to render anything.
No rendering.
No,
Yeah.
thank you.
But it was fun. Hadn't been on a road trip in a while, and but that's the reason I drove into the studio today. Sarah explained to me last night that she needed a little girl
Get away
time
from
after
you.
5 days with like 24
I
hours.
get it.
I said I need a little break from myself. I totally get
I
it.
understand. I understand. I feel like it's so hard to stay with anybody. You know?
Dan, if you're
What?
listening, I
No.
think she's going to get to a point here soon.
No. I mean, like, outside of your immediate, like, who you chose
I know
to
what
be
you mean.
your family,
Oh yeah,
like, going to stay
Yeah.
with literally anyone is, I feel like, tough. And I feel like it's even tougher when it's family, extended family, or whatever, because,
I agree.
you know, it's
And I love my
just-
sister. So
Yes, exactly. It's
I was
like,
making bread and I cut my finger on a food processor blade. You would
Oh.
think that I had amputated my arm.
great.
Get your hand above your heart.
Oh boy.
Believe it or not, and they're younger than me,
Okay.
not much, but I said, believe it or not, this is not the first time I've cut myself.
Yes.
I know what to do.
I know.
Well,
I know. I feel like,
there's no major arteries in the finger anyway, so
Yeah.
yeah, like you can't.
you can't bleed to death out of your finger. I don't
Yeah,
think.
there's not too much damage that can be done through. But I don't know. Unless you're choosing, like, okay, like when I picked roommates in college, I had a couple really horrible situations. Then I was like, okay, these are the two people that I know that I could live with.
Yeah.
Because you just can't, like, certain person, it's like, I love you to death.
Mhm.
You're fantastic, but there's no way that I could live. Like, we would not mesh well. I don't know. There's certain, like my cousin Erin, what I've adored her my whole life. There is absolutely no way that we could
No.
probably either even, I don't think we could travel together.
Yeah,
No?
you'd hate each other
She's
in
the most
5
type
minutes.
A person I know. And
Oh,
like
yeah.
everything's very scheduled and she's
Mhm.
very particular.
That's how she grew up.
And I am not like that in any way, shape, or form. Like I fly by the seat of my
Yeah.
pants every moment of my life.
That's
Where
how
it's,
we grew up.
it's funny though, because my friend Natalie is very type A and needs to have things like quiet in a certain way, but she's so used to me
Yeah.
that she and I
Yeah, there you go.
work really well together because she's just like, okay, Alex. And I'm like, whatever, Natalie. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know.
No,
good.
my father used to have a saying, guests are like fish. After 3 days, they begin to smell.
Oh,
That's pretty funny. I like that.
nasty.
It's funny.
And I kind of, that's about how much, 3 nights is about as
Yes.
much as I want somebody else in the house, especially a condo.
Yeah.
It'd be different if
This
you
is
had,
close.
a house where they had their own quarters and stuff and they could go retreat and watch
You go to the
you know,
West Wing.
TV or something.
I'll be
But
here
in
in
a
the great
condo,
room.
it's like, they're under my feet all the
All
time.
the time.
Mhm.
Get out.
I know. Unless it's somebody that you like, we always go to Dan's aunt and uncle's cabin each summer, and they're there, and then his twin brother, his wife, and their 3 kids are there, and we're there for 2 nights. And we've done it so many times that we have the perfect balance of like, okay, this is what needs to happen for everything to work and everybody to like be happy and cool and whatever. But yeah, even that, it's like 2 nights. Okay, we're good. That's enough.
Yeah, it's hard to have adults in your house.
Well,
So
and
how
other
many-
people's kids and stuff, you know.
Yeah, other people's kids, because you can't like do anything about their bad behavior, really.
No, and I have a
You
child.
can't
In,
yell at them, otherwise people get mad at you.
there's a child in my life that I can like parent. Like the mom and I have been like, okay, if my kid's being whatever, you can tell him what to do. But like, he's just so loud. He
Yeah.
talks at a volume where after a few hours, I'm just like, I can't anymore.
Yeah.
He's just always yelling.
Like you after a couple of glasses of wine.
No,
Like Ethan?
No, Ethan's not.
No.
Ethan's like boisterous, but
He
he's
is
not
boisterous.
he's not always shouting all of the time.
It depends.
Anytime
Depends
this kid
on his
opens
mood.
his mouth, he's yelling.
Yeah, I've known kids like that.
Yeah, where I'm
it's
just
like,
like-
it's like they're not aware that they can talk
No,
quieter.
I have to be like, I'm right here.
hmm
I can hear.
Well, Tom, you grew up with so many siblings.
Mm-hmm.
That
Six of 'em.
I think mayhem was actually like comforting to you.
Well,
yeah.
nobody was ever home because everybody had to work so much to
Well,
pay the bills.
I just remember the kids could have everybody over. There could be a television on. The dogs are barking. The kids are, running around, roller skating in the house, and you would be sound asleep on the couch.
I was used to
I
it.
was like, "How
It is
do
true.
you do it?"
Well, you can't
I
even.
don't understand.
I think only Army guys can usually do that, right?
Yeah.
Combat people that have been in combat have the
Well,
ability to
Yeah.
just.
Mm.
Your
They're
family
taught how
was-
to go to sleep
Yep.
when the shells are flying
That's right.
outside.
This is your time.
Because you
Okay.
got to sleep, otherwise,
That's right.
yeah.
My dad was like that. He could just
Yep.
fall asleep in the middle of anything.
Well, like Dad, you're uncomfortable with quiet.
That's true.
Oh, I hate it when it's quiet. I really
Yeah.
do. I just didn't grow up with quiet. There's no question about that. That's why, when we move into new houses or whatever, your mom notices noises. I never hear them, never. And I suppose you just train your brain. I guess that's what it's all about,
Well,
right?
part of it is your job. I mean, I know that all professional radio people, they don't even know they're doing it. But if there's dead air,
Yep.
Well,
It's
yeah.
just-
Oh yeah,
2 seconds
Trained.
of silence, and yeah, they cannot handle it.
Yes. Yeah.
pretty much true. I just the whole. Looking back, I suppose you're right. It was just a very dangerous neighborhood, and it was noisy, and there were people coming and going. I mean, there's 20. What is it? Between Terry and Troy, it was, I think, 24 years difference.
Well, and Tony alone, he was like,
What do you mean was? He's
on
still
the
like
ceiling.
that.
He was.
Little
There
high
were
strung.
stories of Tony. Yeah, he'd be on top of the dresser, jumping down, breaking a leg. I mean, it just was every day. That's how he was.
It was always, well, Terry was gone into the Marine Corps by the time I was 9 years old. That the other house is not even there. Well, that's the other thing. I lived in 42 different houses by the time I was like 25 years old, 26 years old.
that's got to be weird because
Yeah.
Sarah and I just moved to our new home, as you know, after being in the last place for 15 years. It took me 3 weeks to figure out the light switches and where all the stuff is. You know what I mean? When you
Yeah.
move into a new place, especially the kitchen, it's like, damn it, where does? But moving 42 times, you probably never knew where anything was.
I think it's up to 44 now because we moved twice last summer.
Yep.
So, so it's up to 44 now at least. It's probably a lot more than that. Well, you and I have lived in like 6 or 7 different houses.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You only got 5?
5.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we lived in Minnetonka. We lived in Maple Grove. We lived in Dayton. We lived in Golden Valley. And now we live in Wayzata.
What about
You lived
Edina.
in Edina.
Oh, yeah,
Edina.
Edina. 6.
6? It
There
is.
you go. 6 houses.
I told Dan, I was like, you got to take me out of this house in a body bag. I'm not
Yeah.
doing
I'm
that.
kind of at that point myself. It's like, if I ever have to move again, I don't know.
No, I could see us moving like when Fawn and Sage are adults.
Right.
But other than that, I'm like, no, I don't
What would you do with that house
I
if you
don't-
didn't have kids?
have any interest. Yeah, exactly. It's like
You
it's
need,
too much
you need to
space.
keep that house for the rest of your lives and rent it out because you bought it before crazy prices.
You got a
Yes.
very
Yeah.
good deal
Yeah,
on
I
that
mean, and
place.
like maybe that is
Never
what
sell
we'll do.
it.
But I don't see us living there once Fawn and Sage are adults. There's just too much space, and I don't want to. More like I said, too much to clean.
Yep.
I don't need all that.
It's kind of interesting we're talking about that because it was brought up this morning that, these presidential candidates or people, whatever the situation is, and Trump and Biden are two of the biggest offenders, I suppose you could call it, by creating things that they say happened in their early lives that never really happened. Like when that fire broke out in Hawaii and burned half of Maui.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Biden talked about this horrible house fire he was in. They almost all got killed. And I guess the fire department said, it was like a little fire in the sink. We came and put it out. There was nothing. And then, of course, I was in the house with Toots when it burned to the ground. And I mean, that house burned, baby. The second half of the house, when she opened that door and that flame shot across the ceilings, like, holy. So you're thinking about that. He's talking about their house burning down. It was some little ashtray fire or something. If you're ever in a house where the flame is like 15 feet long, and that thing shot at least 15 feet across the ceiling.
How did it start?
Wiring.
Yeah.
No, it's
My
not
mom's
burning.
house burned down on my 18th birthday, and it was field mice had chewed through the incoming wiring to the house.
There you go.
God.
The income, wow.
Yep.
The high voltage. Well, I guess it's like medium voltage, but whatever.
This might have been one of my relatives. I won't even say brother or sister. One of my relatives that apparently was hanging pictures and driving nails through the wall, and I guess
Oh,
a
yeah.
nail went through the wiring, and that's not good. No question. There's
Really?
still.
You can actually start a house fire from
Yeah, but-
hanging a
I don't think
picture?
anymore you could.
Yeah.
Well, in
Yeah.
the old days,
Faulty wiring.
they didn't have the wiring inside of aluminum,
No, they did not.
whatever they call it now. I'm blanking on the word.
Oh, they technically still don't. Inside your walls, that's usually just stapled to the
Yeah.
studs.
I remember I changed a lighting fixture in our St. Paul house, and I like took the original fixture from when we moved in off, and that was just like wires wrapped in a cloth.
Yep.
And I was
That's the way it was.
Cloth
like,
insulation. And,
well-
and it would rot away,
Yeah,
and there would
and
be
it was-
nothing left. of
and it
Yep.
was like dust, like
Yep.
half deteriorated, and I was like, "Well, this isn't
Yeah.
safe."
Our Crystal house had a lot of that.
Yeah,
We'd
it's like,
replace an
oh,
outlet, and it was like,
shit.
yeah, it's basically like just like rotted cloth on the wires.
Yeah.
Like,
And I'm like,
cool. This is definitely designed for longevity.
yesterday I saw a video of this guy that was like, so earlier today I was on my balcony and I saw a fire in somebody's apartment, and he showed the video of it, and it was just like this raging fire. And then he shows videos of all these, it was like 2 fire trucks. It was in the middle of London. It was this whole thing. All the sirens were going off. And then it was like, it turns out that it was somebody with a 8-foot television that had a Yule log.
Oh,
Like-
wow.
Oh my God! Really?
Wow.
I mean,
Whoops.
it literally, like the video that he posted, it was like the video from his balcony into their apartment. You would absolutely think that the place was on fire,
Oh, yeah.
Whoops.
but it was like a movie screen kind of thing that had a Yule log. I was like, that's really funny.
Well, it's that time of the year. So what are we planning for Christmas? You guys know. I know.
I don't even want to add.
Alex, you're coming down. Well, you got
Alex
80
has
billion
5
things to do.
Christmases, 5 Rasmussen Christmases.
Yeah. We got
We only have-
3,
we
I
only have
think.
2. We have the Diane side of the family cabin Christmas, and then we have like the Rasmussen brothers situation Christmas. That's it. Neither of them are actually on Christmas or Christmas Eve.
Oh, really? So you get your own families. That's good.
Yeah, so Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, we have nothing going on.
So what you got, Andy?
We got a Christmas Eve, we got Christmas Day, and then I think we got another one after that. Well, the thing is about Christmas is we've also got 3 birthdays that week.
Oh, that's right.
Melissa, her
Melissa?
brother, and her dad.
Oh, her dad.
They're
was
all
too.
in that
Okay.
same week.
Oh.
So we got multiple Christmases, multiple birthdays. It's an interesting week.
Well, and it's not even, and I don't know. It'll be interesting, Andy, to see if you have this situation once your kids are older, or if it's just like a ridiculous, busy people situation. But we have so much stuff leading up to Christmas.
We don't really have anything leading up to it,
It's
thankfully.
insane. Like this weekend, we're going to a holiday party on the 7th at the evening, and then we're taking Andy and Melissa to Santa brunch Sunday morning, and then we're going to see the Nutcracker on Sunday evening, and then the following Friday we're going to see my friend's son who's in a Christmas Carol play, and then the following
Aw.
weekend we have Cabin Christmas, and then the day after that we have the kids' piano recital, and then that Friday we have the Christmas party at Fawn's Dance Studio, and then the 21st we have the kids have their Christmas services for school that I have to also work at. And then we're doing Christmas with Andy and Melissa on the 22nd. It's just like,
Oh, yeah, we are doing that.
yeah, I was going to say,
Well,
you
that'll
have
be
2
fun.
things
Yeah, we
because
sure
of
do.
me.
Yep.
We were like, let's do Santa brunch. That'll be fun.
Nothing wrong with Santa. Oh, Andy's taking a call here. It could be
Taking a
Santa.
call. But yeah,
if it's
so we have
Santa?
Ding, ding, ding,
every
ding.
single Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we have some sort of Christmas activity leading up to Christmas.
Oh, God.
But then Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, we're doing absolutely nothing. Well, I think we're going to go to the candlelight Christmas service with Diane on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, we've decided our Christmas Day is going to be the chill one. We're gonna do stockings.
That's
and just
we always were like Christmas Day.
Yeah.
That's our day. Like Christmas
exactly.
Eve, we'll do whatever before, after Christmas, whatever. But I was like, Christmas Day, once we had kids, it was just like, we need a day of just,
Yep.
the kids open their presents, they freak out. We watch Christmas movies, whatever.
You need calm. We have a caller.
Ooh.
Someone named Dave Klissis.
Who? What? Who?
Some a-hole. What's up, guys?
Nothing much, Officer Dave. What's the latest?
Oh, just absolutely going on my way to do some training for our funeral on Saturday. So, it's like, here we go. So, but you
Unbelievable.
were talking, cop got killed up on the Red Lake Nation on duty. So we have to do the line of duty death stuff. So.
God, unbelievable. We got that. It was reported, by the way, that I'm sure you've seen the news reports that Brian Thompson, CEO of United Health Insurance, was targeted, a victim of a targeted shooting in New York City this morning. It has been reported he was threatened previously.
Fatal shooting.
Shooting. They killed him, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Guy
he had been.
ambushed him.
Why wouldn't they have security with the guy if he's been threatened with murder?
I mean,
I'm
I'm
not
sure these
blaming
people get threatened literally every day of
probably.
their lives. It's like, how do you know? How do you know when they're credible? You
True.
can't assume any of them are.
Is it a credible threat? And but yeah, you would think someplace like United would have security for him regardless.
Right. See, that's what I'm
He
thinking.
lived in Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
The CEO, because that's the headquarters are Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's terrible.
I mean,
So-
that's terrible news.
You were. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're up.
Well, you guys were talking about house fires. It's actually anybody who's been a firefighter, volunteer firefighter in these little podunk towns or whatnot, been inside a house when it's burning. Oh, is that wild?
It is.
Spraying it with water. Your feet, you're literally like inches away from this 1,500 degree conflagration and spraying water on it.
Yeah, I can't
Hey,
even
I'm gonna put
imagine.
you out. It's cool. You got all the gear.
I didn't. I had no gear. I was in my underwear watching Lunch with Casey when Mom opened the door and the flame shot about 15 feet across the ceiling. And then I didn't want to leave the house because I didn't have any pants on. She goes, "Well, you do what you want to do. I'm leaving."
What? Nice mom.
Well, I mean,
You do you, baby.
You do you, baby.
Is that the one she threw the cup of water on?
That's the one.
On an electrical fire. Ah.
No, 15-foot flame. She threw a cup of water at it.
You didn't have a fire extinguisher in your house? We didn't have a fire
Oh,
extinguisher
God,
growing
no.
up.
No.
Hopefully everybody has one of those in their house
we do.
nowadays.
We got a few.
Good.
Yeah, but I think it was the late 60s they came up with this Romex wire where now
Yep.
everything is coated and sealed up tight. So unless some jackwagon who doesn't know what he's doing puts a nail through it,
Yeah.
not
Yep.
going to start a fire anymore.
Well, even if you do put a nail right through the black wire, the hot wire, odds are it's not going to start a fire. It's just going to shock you, and you'll know immediately what happened. You'd have to
Odds
put the
are.
nail through. You basically would have to gap the hot and the neutral to make a spark, and
Yep.
the odds of that
Yep.
happening are basically zero.
Well, unless you're putting in a really big nail.
Yeah. But again, you're probably just going to get electrocuted in that case anyway. So you'll be like, oh,
Yep.
I think
I'm
I'll
gonna be-
remove this nail.
Every time I hang art now, I'm going to be
Circuit
paranoid.
breakers. Yep, everything's circuit breakers. The old bus fuses are gone.
Well, that's the other thing is circuit breakers. They can react in it's like 1,000th of a second or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I remember our house growing up. We had the old screw-in light bulb bus fuses. That
Yep.
It took a freaking bolt of lightning to break one of them things. It was just ridiculous.
Well, if you want to avoid putting a nail through a wire, the easiest way is to just go into a stud, because
Yep.
there's not going to be a wire in the stud,
Right.
or stay far away from the studs.
Yep.
There should never be wire in the space between the studs. There can be, but usually it's closer to the ground where the outlets actually are.
Where they go across.
Yep.
And if you think about it, it's at that plug-in level where they go across,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
or light switch level where they'll go across, not in the middle.
Right.
And all the wires actually tacked to the sides of the studs.
Yep.
So it's there. If you get it a little bit, you can scrape everything off. You're going to be kicking that circuit breaker, but that's how it goes, I guess.
Yeah, electrical fires are very rare compared to how it used to be.
Nowadays, yep, definitely.
Now it's
So-
people falling asleep with cigarettes in their beds.
Exactly.
So, Officer Dave, is this a tough time of the year to be a cop?
Yes and no. You deal with the depression of the
Yep.
people around you. And so, Christmas time, a lot of people go into a deep,
Yeah.
dark place and don't want to live anymore. And then you have to deal with, the aftermath, the suicides and all that other stuff. So, yeah, this type of year really, really is hard. From about Thanksgiving through, like Doug says, the sun never shines in this world until freaking April. So everybody gets depressed and does their mowing and growing and unfortunately does dumb things.
I'd also have to ask you, have you ever at Christmas time, because if you've never seen Officer Dave, he's a rather large person, have you ever been given a shirt that actually fit?
Yes, Tom. By
You ha-
people who know me well, they know to get the triple XL tees. That, my shoulders don't take up all the fabric. Yes,
Mhm.
I've gotten shirts that fit.
That's good to hear. I'm glad because I got to believe that's got to be tough buying a shirt for you, man.
Yeah.
Well, I
it
don't
is.
have broad shoulders, and there are certain brands that I cannot wear because there's just like the shoulders are so tight. It's like, who is this
Yep.
designed for?
I have that problem too, actually. Well, I used to. Because like women's t-shirts used to just be so narrow,
Mhm.
and now everything's a lot baggier and boxier, and I love
Yep.
it because I'm not a boxy
Yep.
person, but I have broader shoulders for my size. And yeah,
Mhm.
sometimes I think about that with like men, because there are a lot of
Yeah.
men that are just so broad.
Triangular,
men,
yeah.
have, men have so many more options, though. It's
Oh, they do?
have extra large tall, and
Yeah,
that you have inseams and,
And
all
everything's-
your
yes,
jeans. and
everything's by a
even-
measure. Measurement.
They don't mean
Yeah.
anything though.
Yeah, but I mean,
That's-
they measure
that's
your
true.
neck, they measure your arms, they measure all.
Well, yeah, if
they've
you
got-
get fitted for a suit, but like
but I
when you're
mean,
buying
just-
jeans, like I got 3 pairs of 32 jeans. One of them I can't even get past my thighs.
Okay.
One of them is it's pretty tight on the waist, and one of them is loose.
Oh,
Yeah.
So the 32, I don't know if that means 32 inches or just 32 imagination units
Well,
because
Well, that's like, yeah, I have jeans that are size 2, and then I have jeans that are a size 8.
yeah,
It's like,
it doesn't mean anything.
yeah, I found a pair of jeans at a store, and I was like, these are the exact style of jeans that I want. And I grabbed a 4 because I'm generally a 4. And then I just kept going up and up and up because I was like, I can't even pull them up.
Yeah,
What is going on? And I was like, well, I guess the 8 fits. That's
because it's all made in China and they're
Yeah.
tiny people.
That is true.
well. Here's a thing that I learned in fashion school about denim is cut in a giant pile. And so the top is the only actual true size. And farther it gets down the pile, the thing stretches out.
Oh,
So they start smaller and then they get bigger at the
Yeah, because
bottom.
they kind of guillotine them, right?
Yes.
Huh.
There
Yep.
you go.
So
Yeah,
fun fact.
it's completely different between a pair of Carhartts and a pair of Levi's.
It
what
sure
a,
is.
A 42 is. It's night and day different.
I
Yep.
just don't understand. Measuring is something that's pretty
I know.
easy to do, and
I
you
know.
should just do that.
Yeah, it's 32 inches. If it's not 32 inches, don't call it 32. Call it whatever it
I know,
is.
because I feel like there should just be
Yep.
I don't know. Like I don't
Universal standard.
because then it's too difficult because there's so many people. I mean, look out in public. Look at all the shapes and sizes of people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's no way that you're ever going to be able to actually fit everybody.
Yeah, I know.
You know? So, yeah.
yeah, Zubas, go Zubas.
We should just go back to
Sweatpants.
kimonos and
Yeah, that's
cloaks and that sort of
Yes.
thing.
Agreed.
Just
Dad
so-
was wearing some interesting trousers yesterday.
Oh
No,
God.
We've had to have a couple interventions. There have been times where
They
Dad's
were-
walked up to me and I've went, "Sir, do you need help?"
They were
Were they
know
the
where
wrong
you are.
trousers?
cute. They were just enormous.
They were way too
We've
big
gone
for
through
me.
your closet. I don't know how many times. I get rid of all the, clothes when you were
Crusty stuff.
very, very large, and you've got some.
I didn't know it.
Remember those sweatpants from a few years ago that
Yeah.
the butt
Yeah,
was like a
saggy, baggy thing.
saggy diaper? Like the whole, he was just standing there and Mom and I were just staring. We were like, "What? He's been walking around like this?" It's really, really
Well, I
bad.
lost
This is not-
90 pounds.
Not okay.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
bad.
okay.
You got to realize when it's time to part. the
Say
sweatpants.
goodbye
Yes.
Yeah.
to those
Worth it.
pants.
That's
So
my
you-
whole life, Alex, walking around with a saggy pants because by the time you find something to fit over my thighs,
Oh yeah.
it's just, I've got to wear 42, 36 just because my thighs soak up so much fabric.
Right.
42,
Yeah.
36.
Tight on my thighs and
That's-
it's loose in my waist.
Dan has that problem with
Ugh.
pants. He tries on like normal sized pants from anywhere and he looks like a stuffed sausage because his thighs are so big from skiing that he
Yeah.
it's just like, he's like, I can't move. And,
Well, and the
then his
trend
waist
right now is skinny everything.
Yeah, it is.
Not for women.
Everything is skinny for men.
Oh, really?
The
Everything for
jeans
women is
especially.
oversized and baggy. It's
Not-
great.
No,
I love it.
we're not there yet. For some reason, we're still on skinny jeans after 20 years.
I think you can just wear regular bootcut jeans now and look perfectly fashionable.
Yeah, you can wear
I don't think
straight
you
leg
need-
pants
I don't
anytime.
care about
and
fashion
it's-
at all, but
Well, but then there's like what's available.
yeah, exactly. It's
yeah.
about availability.
Yes.
Tom will appreciate this for my Class A uniform jacket. I think I've told you this too.
Hmm.
It's a 58 extra tall.
It's like a horse
Well,
blanket.
They're easy to find.
Like a horse point.
58
And-
extra tall. Okay.
Yep.
Or a polo
And
blanket.
so it was literally custom made.
Wow.
To get it fitted properly, they took it in 1 foot.
That's ridiculous.
Okay.
Four,
Yeah, 'cause
four places on that jacket, you can see the seams where they brought it in 3 inches in each spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got the thin waist, but the very broad shoulders and big chest and big arms. So what are they going to do?
Thank you. I still feel like a goddamn sausage casing in it. It's like,
I'm telling you, robes.
Bro,
Get a cloak and a tunic.
it's great.
So I do have to.
yep.
I have to ask Officer Dave a question here. This time of the year, because 3 weeks from today is Christmas Day.
Oy, I gotta get moving.
3 weeks from today.
I know.
Move it along.
When you pull somebody over from now till Christmas and they've had a few cocktails and you're going to probably have to arrest them for DUI, do they cry more in December than ever before?
All the time, Tom.
Yeah, they do. That's what I've heard.
In my experience, two things happen whenever I pulled anyone over, no matter what time of the year. They would either get extremely quiet,
Hmm.
or they would cry, or they would cry.
Really?
Really, because
Okay.
I'm 6'4", 300 pounds, wearing all the crap, walking up to the car.
Oh.
They're either crying or they're like, "Holy shit, I got to be quiet."
He didn't cause any trouble. I can't be doing that.
How often
just-
do you get the jokers?
Well, yeah. And then some of them guys, I'd be laughing with them when they're trying to make me mad, and then I start laughing at them because what they're saying is actually genuinely kind of funny. So it's like, that's funny. That's actually. Then they're like, oh shit, no, I got nothing.
Well, to be fair to them, they were traveling, not driving. So,
A couple times that's happened.
oh yeah.
Yep.
Where
Nice.
are those people more common? I don't think there's a lot of them in the Midwest.
Well, Pacific Northwest, there's more.
Is it? Yeah.
that whole hippy dippy crowd out
Yeah.
there in Washington?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
You can't write them a ticket
Oh, yeah.
because their name is not their person. That's the legal entity
Yeah.
attached to their person. You see.
Do tears actually work when people cry? Do you not write them a ticket sometimes?
Absolutely not, Catherine.
I'm gonna save my tears.
Mine would work. You've never
Yours would
seen
work.
me cry.
You know what else happened? I can hear it now. No, I just was thinking about that, and I've never asked a cop that before, but I assumed that at least half the people would start crying because that's a very serious offense, obviously.
I don't know about
Oh
half.
yeah. That's when you're hooking somebody for DWI and
Oh,
they're cognizant enough to realize what their
Oh yeah. Ugh.
consequences are.
Yeah.
It's like they start to cry.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
what I thought.
So
Well, I mean,
Because it probably is
shouldn't
like
have done it
a
then.
well, it's probably like a they were drunk and having fun, and they're like, oh, I got to drive home now, whatever, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, like I
Yeah,
put
they
people in
don't-
danger,
don't even think about it.
Yeah, that sounds
Yep.
that's sad.
is there
exactly.
still are there still sober cabs for people around the holidays?
All the time, everybody does it. Uber, Lyft, I think, cut their prices, and it's very, very prevalent to have options other than
hmm
drinking and driving.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Doug Sprinthal.
Why are you talking to me?
Why are you
Kidding,
just
just
talking to
kidding.
me? I
Feeling.
I did have a cop friend in the north side, Minneapolis copper, who told me one time that he pulled a guy over on Emerson. Oh, Alex got to go. Okay, Alex, we'll see you
Bye.
later in the week, or actually next week. All right,
Oh yeah,
have a good day.
it's Wednesday.
But in any case, this guy's a cop in North Minneapolis. It's the holiday season, all the rest of his business. He's driving along Emerson Avenue. This copper pulls him over, and the guy jumps out of his car as the copper's walking up to him. He jumps out of the car and he goes, "This ain't my car." So? Well, if it isn't your car you're driving drunk, then I guess I can't charge you.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, it doesn't
what
make
do you
any sense
mean
at all.
by that?
I think the best defense I've heard, I think it was in South Korea. So this guy was driving drunk, of course. The cops pull him over, and he's got an open canister of soju in the car, which is like rice wine.
Mm-hmm.
That's nasty.
It is. It's soju. Is so
He
gross.
goes, that's nasty.
It's like Zima for Koreans.
Yeah.
So he's got this open canister of soju in the car. And I think one can is like probably 2 glasses of wine, like equivalent. So they pull him over. And what he does is he gets out of the car and he slams the rest of it. And he says, well, now you can't prove that I didn't just become drunk right now. And he got off.
Really?
There's been talk about that, but if he gets out of the car and he still has possession of the keys, that's called physical control. Guess what, buddy boy? You're going to jail.
Well, there's places, I think even states, that it's legal to have an open container of alcohol
Yeah.
Right.
with you,
Yeah.
just as long as you're not over the limit.
Are there any more? I thought that all those.
Texas, Louisiana.
I don't think it is in Texas legal in
No?
Texas anymore. If only
It
we had
shouldn't
a
be.
place where we could look
Couple
things
years
up.
Shouldn't be.
Let's see.
But if you're in the
Open
back of
container.
like a limo, you can. There's
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
if you're not driving,
Yeah.
you can do whatever you want. But like,
Well,
not in the back
No,
seat.
no,
Wouldn't that
no,
still
no,
be
no.
open container?
Limousines are different because there's a partition between the driver and the.
Oh,
it's a commercial vehicle rather than a.
Yeah, you can't sit in
personal
the
vehicle.
back of the Mustang and
you
pound
can't.
Jägermeisters while you're doing it.
spoil my plans for the week.
I know.
Why not? Why can't you? You're not driving.
Well, that also depends
You're-
on the state, apparently, because like in Alaska, driver cannot have an open container, but a passenger can.
There you go.
And also,
There
it's
you go.
just a fine because who cares? I guess. Let's see. Driver's
That's pretty much
possession
what it is.
of open container looks like it is prohibited everywhere except for Mississippi.
There you go.
That
Which
goes
is
along
not
with
a
what we're
surprise.
doing in
Everything
Mississippi.
anyway.
Yeah. But
Not
most
a
states,
surprise.
most states passengers can't. But in several of them, in Arkansas, you can have an open container, but you can't drink from it.
What?
So, you stop the car and just immediately, you got it ready for you.
There you go. There you go,
That
boss.
makes,
Have a
makes no
cold
sense.
one.
Makes absolutely no sense, but that's just the way things are. So what else is happening in the world? Anything good? I think anybody's got planned for the holiday season?
my birthday tomorrow.
Oh,
It's your
happy
birthday?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Let's
And I got to
see.
work.
Is that what they say? December, a day that will live. December 5th, a day that will live in infamy. Was that your birthday?
No, that's the 7th.
That's the 7th. That's right, December
close.
7th. It was very close, though. Yes.
You were, yep.
And no
And a
question
few
about
years before I was born.
it. Nah, 1 or 2 maybe. What year were you born, actually?
67.
I was going to guess 65. I thought you were the same age as my brother Troy, but so
Nope.
you were born in 67.
Yep.
So I'm actually, I would, if you would have been born when I was 16, I could be your father. Isn't that amazing?
Physically, yes, I suppose.
Yep.
But I'm just saying, that they got the big, and then with Josh Arnold, he could be our great great grandfather. So that's good.
Isn't Josh the same age as you?
It's pretty close.
I love picking on Josh. He's a wonderful guy to pick on. There's no question.
That makes my Fridays worthwhile right there.
It would indeed. All right. Any closing words from the folks?
Hey, folks.
Any wishes?
Stay out of trouble.
We will stay out of trouble.
No open
Officer Dave,
containers.
we'll talk to you on Friday, Officer Dave.
Should work out. Yep. We'll see what the departure time is, arrival time in Bemidji, but
We'll see if your
Should
car's
make it
blown
work.
away by tonight.
yeah, no doubt.
Could be. That's
What-
very true.
What's the forecast?
It's
What
like
weather?
5 degrees, 25-mile-an-hour winds.
with gusts to like 50.
Yep,
See,
Whoa.
that's the kind
Gonna
of
be
stuff that's
fun.
like, why do you live there?
because we were born here. Well, I was born here. I don't know what Doug's excuse is.
Too stupid to leave.
Just made a bad decision a long time ago.
That's really nice to hear. I'm too stupid to
It'll be
leave.
7 degrees when you wake up. It'll be sunny.
Oh, Charlie has a question for Dave. Quick.
Oh, that's good.
He wants to know if it would be legal to drink Heineken Zero while driving. So non-alcohol
no,
beer.
it is not illegal to drink Heineken Zero.
It's not
but
illegal?
you have to prove it is not illegal.
Oh,
What?
there you go.
It is legal because there is no alcohol in it.
But it's
Right.
still a beer can, so cops going to see you drinking out of it and pull you over probably.
You're gonna get pulled over
Yeah.
for it. Yep.
Well, yeah, because you could just
Or you
have
could
a
pull-
can of the Zero and have a real beer in there
Well, but you could do that with anything.
Yeah,
You
and
could
pretend.
you could pour vodka into a Sprite bottle if you wanted. I mean,
Yeah. I think you might have a drinking
But,
problem if you did that.
Oh, I remember. I went in high school. I remember kids would fill up their water bottles with vodka. And I was like, "What is
Really?
wrong with you?" Yep.
Really?
So I could sip on vodka all day, and the teachers were none the wiser.
In what grade?
We can
Like late high school.
Oh, okay.
Really?
you can smell it on people.
You
Oh,
can.
yeah.
Well, teenagers aren't exactly the smartest,
No, yes, this is true.
Yeah, they're drinking whiskey and being like, "No one knows." Well, the air's on fire around your mouth, so yes, we do.
All right. That is going to do it.
Drunk just stand by.
Mhm.
There you go. Officer Dave, we'll see you on Friday.
Hopefully so.
Probably.
Yes, I'm planning on it.
Dougie, any closing words?
Be safe out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck.
How about a couple winter driving tips? Is that okay?
Sure.
Sure. Good idea.
When it's really foggy out or hard to see, even though you have daytime running lights on most modern cars, your tail lights aren't on. Turn
Right.
on your freaking headlights. Otherwise, you'll get rear-ended. Also, don't use cruise control when it's icy or snowy out.
Oh,
Oh.
A lot of people wreck cars every year because they don't think of that, and the car starts slipping, and then the
Yep.
wheels are going. We're slowing down. We need to accelerate, which is the last thing that you want to do.
Okay.
oh God.
That's it. A couple of quick winter driving tips.
My car
And
goes
just-
overboard correcting for that. My driveway is like slightly steep.
Yeah.
So if there's any ice on it at all, I'll get about halfway up and the wheels will just stop turning.
So that's the other thing you can do when that happens. You have a button somewhere in your dash,
Yep.
the traction control. Traction control was invented by somebody who never lived in a northern state.
No, it's always it's never done anything but take control away
Yep.
from me.
because
Which I,
sometimes you do need to spin them. So
yep.
Three
I-
things: turn on your freaking headlights, turn off your cruise control, and know where your traction control button is.
Slow down for God's
And slow,
sake.
yes. Every
Well, let's not get insane here.
you got to get home.
There you go.
Every year, someone slams into a electrical pole
Yep.
near our town because they're taking a curve too quick, and there's one snowflake on the road, so they're car immediately starts spinning like a tornado, and there you go.
Yep.
Ruined electrical pole.
For driving tips in Florida, remember to stock up on ammunition.
Yes, exactly. That works for me. All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Got a picture in my pocket reminds me of this one was before. Every time I hear the singing reminds me how you talking.